Welcome back. Striking university lecturers in Nigeria have once again failed to call off their nationwide industrial action despite a marathon reconciliation meeting with the federal government which ended in the early hours of today. At the meeting, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, had offered assurances of government's commitment to immediately commence the payment of salary shortfalls and funding for universities' infrastructure. But the Academic Staff Union of Universities is sticking to its guns regarding the strike until resolutions from the meeting are communicated to its National Executive Council.
It's the third meeting between the striking university lecturers and the federal government as they try to resolve the disputes that led to the nationwide industrial action embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, 3 weeks ago. At the first conciliation meeting held on August the 17th, 2017, the federal government made an undisclosed offer to ASU. A second meeting scheduled for the 29th day of August to hear ASU's position on the new offer was stalled as the striking lecturers contended that their response to the initial offers was made to the government in writing. Finally, this third conciliation meeting is holding at the instance of the Minister of Labour and Employment. It's a high-powered delegation of labor unionists, including the President of the Nigeria Labour Congress and representatives of the federal government, including the Minister of Education, the Chairman, Income, Salaries and Wages Commission, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly matters. They are here to discuss the mistrust between ASU and the federal government, which has led to the protracted industrial action.
So the major sense of us reconvening today is to see that areas of mistrust are broken down between the government side and yourself.
The meeting goes into a closed-door session after those remarks by the Minister of Labour. About 13 hours later, the conference room doors are reopened to brief journalists on the resolutions reached.
On the issue of end allowances and academic allowances, to take we made some listening and payment has started in that direction. But ASU has to take back all these, our proposal to their organs. There is an agreement for government to make some fund available in September and October to show that they are not repudiating the agreement and to also show sign of good faith.
Now we have some concrete proposals that we will take back to our members as part of our consultation, and like the Honorable Minister of Labour said, we plan to come back here to take final decision as advised by our members.
Although the ASU leadership has expressed some optimism regarding the resolution of the industrial dispute, students in all affected universities will still have to wait at home for at least another week for ASU to take a final decision to either continue with or suspend the strike.
The market for software and computer science careers is growing really fast with so many technology devices which are largely differentiated by software and user interface design. In spite of the proliferation of software, only a few African softwares are known globally. In a 2007 to 2012 report from one of the leading providers of big data for employment and job dynamics, the number of software jobs grew by 31%, and that's 3 times faster than U.S. jobs overall. Joining us to discuss ways to empowering youth in software development is Uche Anije, a tech entrepreneur. Welcome to the program, Uche. How will you rate the impact of African youth in the area of programming? Uche, if you're there, how would you rate the impact of software technology in Africa? We will continue that conversation with Uche in just a moment. But for now, young entrepreneurs are using technology to tackle reproductive health challenges among youths in Rwanda. Many young people in Rwanda face barriers in sexual and reproductive health information, making them vulnerable to diseases and unintended pregnancies.
Young people in Rwanda face many barriers to sexual and reproductive health information, making them vulnerable to diseases and unintended pregnancies, undercutting their ability to access education and employment. But a phone and web application is hoping to change that. Known as Tanteen app, it aims to use technology to teach the teenagers on reproductive health, providing useful information, especially for hard-to-reach young people living in refugee camps. Tanteen works with a team of medical professionals and psychologists to deliver reproductive health education, mentorship, and counseling services to young people. The app was developed by twin Rwandan medical students Sylvie Urhiwa and Sylvian Muzungu Urhiwa. The pair have been training youth mentors living in Mahama refugee camp on how to use the app.
For people in the camp to access the internet, they don't have smartphone or they don't have enough facilities. That's why we thought of bringing those tablets and establishing a center where they can come and then access the internet in the camp. So we are going to equip them with those tablets and then a router with Wi-Fi so that they can come in a quiet room and then they can go through our apps and website and they can ask different questions.
The two developers recently showed the app in Mahama camp in southern Rwanda, home to 50,000 Burundian refugees. Through an innovation accelerator program that supports young entrepreneurs, an initiative of the United Nations Population Fund. UNFPA says it hopes that this will inspire more people to use technology to find new approaches to tackle sexual and reproductive health challenges.
You have also young people who are in the community who are not in schools. Those young people and youth, they also need that information. So you have really to have an approach which is holistic and which is also multisectoral, so that at least each and every young person can have access to that information.
Another innovation supported by the program is Girl District, a creative and educational hub that produces comic books and education curriculums around sex education. Part of Girl District's outreach involves leading sessions in schools with girls on the topic of sex, relationships, and reproductive health. Conversations and comments and questions that come up in these classes are fed back into the Girl District comic book narratives, ensuring that the stories are relevant and relatable.
What we want is to be real to the situation they face. We want to be able to talk to the girl who goes home to a stepfather that might be molesting her or doing things that she does not agree with. We want to be able to be relevant to a girl who's just started dating. We have two girls who have just started dating, 2 months in a relationship. How do we stay relevant to their reality? And not making decisions for them, but making decisions with them.
The program has received funding from the UK's Department for International Development, DFID, enabling UNFPA to tap into vibrant local networks of social innovators. The Innovation Accelerator has so far received 800 ideas from young people addressing sexual and reproductive health challenges across East Africa.
And that's our program today. Thank you for watching. I am Bisi Adebayo.